how to figure out where your true talents lie. So one way maybe not to approach this is to wait for clarity on what they are before engaging in action. Because a lot of the time, skills and the development of skills really requires experimentation, I suppose, to give clarity. So what's nice is if you can have what I call a high engagement but a low pressure mindset. So some people are high pressure, low engagement. And what that basically results in is a feeling of having to make the right decisions and to choose the right things to do. However, little action or little experimentation because there's a lack of clarity. So, the idea is, how could I take action? But when you do it the other way around, when you say, well, actually, no, I don't have to do this thing, but I want to. You bring a kind of a playfulness. It's like a little bit of a sandbox to experiment. That's really useful. And if you just think of the example of inventors through history, how have they done what they've done? Well, typically it was in the lab. It was playing around with things and it was experimenting. Now, there are moments when you're under pressure, you need a solution. That's helpful too. Sometimes necessity, as they say, is the mother of invention. So that can be good. But still, it's necessary to give yourself a bit of space, because even if there's an urgent need to come up with a direction or a solution, if you then just go, okay, I got to do it, and put pressure on yourself, that's not helpful. That urgency should hopefully help you give yourself that space and a good quality of attention. And then within that space, you can explore and figure that out. So a useful model here, sometimes called ikigai in Japanese, is this idea of considering what your skills are in life, and also what some of the things you're passionate about are, but also ways that you can contribute to the world in some meaningful way. So that's something we can maybe get into in a future session in a little bit more depth. But it is a nice little kind of a checklist to use. Whatever my direction should be, the question is what your true talents are. That's a tricky one to figure out sometimes. But it probably has some combination with what you're good at, obviously, but also what you are interested in. That's sort of where the magic happens. Because when you like doing what you do, it's a cliche, but it's so true. It really becomes so much easier to do it, and you can get further ahead in it so much more easily. So you've got a bit of skill and you've got a bit of interest. It goes a long way. And we all have these things. If you've lots of them, great. Again, just hone down. What are you most excited about and what are you most good at? That's a really good starting point to explore. But also then the question, how can you contribute as well? And contribution is good on a number of levels. Of course, it's just nice to support the world and other people, but also it makes you feel good. So it's a win-win for you. And when you feel good, you can support the world more. And also, as well as doing it voluntarily, you of course can have a career or you can work in that area too, which then is livelihood for you. And that's a kind of a nice cycle too. So something along those lines, being active and exploring, and just considering skill, what you're passionate about, and some of what the world needs. That's usually a good direction to explore. If you found this valuable, do like, subscribe, and share. And what's your experience? Do you have any questions or topic suggestions? You can contribute in the comments, on social media using #BodyMindSelf, or at jfl.com.